Folks, here we are today at Caboolture. This is the Cruisin Caboolture Classic, I think they're calling it. All right, and I'm standing here next to Doug, and the reason we're here is because this little wagon has got to be seen to be believed. This is quite extraordinary. Doug, this is a Chevy, is that right?
It is, mate. It's a 40 Chev truck cab, but it was built by Holdens.
Okay.
So way back before Holden, it was Holden.
So this is an Australian body.
100%. So It was Holden apostrophe S, and it's actually on the compliance plate somewhere. But we put it on an A model reproduction frame, which sounded like a good idea at the time. But just means you've got to fabricate everything. Nothing fits.
Right.
But back in the day in the 40s, it didn't matter if you had a 1.5 ton truck or a 10 ton truck. It was the same cab.
Okay.
So, 1940 Chev, Australian built cab by Holden on an A model chassis, mate. And that's.
And what inspired it, Doug? Is this something you've done before?
Look, when I had my own business, we used to sell rubbers, as you would well know. Car rubbers. Automotive rubbers.
Automotive rubbers.
Business is still going, but I sold the business. So we were building this little shop truck.
Right.
So it was a way to highlight and display the products we sold. And then a customer, we sold him a rubber kit from Morris Minor, and we started chatting on the phone one day. He was a farmer out near Dalby, and he came in one day after we had a chat. So I said, I wouldn't mind putting a Chev truck, and he turned up with the Chev truck cab. He actually had two of them. Dumped them on the driveway at Brindle and shook my hand, nearly killed me and drove off. Yeah. So I picked the best one and went, you know what? Let's build a shop truck.
That's how you do it. Easy as.
And the rest, as I say, is history.
That's fantastic.
But, yeah.
So what was your history before that, right? I mean, obviously you had the car rubber business.
Yeah, look, I was more of I'd had some pretty crazy HG Holdens in my younger days with small block Chevs in them. Okay. Got a little Mark 1 Cortina, which is a little race car. That sort of background, I suppose.
And how old were you when you started getting keen on cars?
Probably, mate, I would have been 15 or 16 or 17.
So you're a teenager.
Yeah, my brothers were into motorbikes, my dad was into bikes and cars, so it was always going to happen.
Right.
You know, just you evolve. You start off as matchbox cars.
Yep.
And you end up with
this
bigger and more expensive ones. That's how it works, isn't it?
and a wife who still loves it.
Well, mate, she does. Lynn's great. She did the hood lining in this. It was her first and ever attempt. She said never ever again.
Really?
But no, she's good, mate. So look, we jump in it on Sundays and go for an hour drive somewhere and go to a pub for a can lunch and a beer. And when you come back and there's 4 million people standing around it, it's
beautiful.
Yeah, we've got to go. We're running late. Yeah. So look, it's a ton of fun. It's one of those cars, mate. You drive and you smile the whole time.
Okay. So I see, according to the label on the windscreen, that it's time for it to have a new custodian.
It is.
So what's your next project after this one?
It's a bit top secret, but it'd be nice to take
we won't tell anyone.
Yeah, don't tell anyone. This is quiet. No, it'd be nice to take the grandkids and other people in it. Mm-hmm. So we're going to build a Tudor. It'll be a hot rod, but it'll be nice to have carpet, air conditioning. It'll be shiny. Yep. It won't be 90-year-old paint, which this is. It'll be shiny and it'll be a nice
Fantastic.
car. So work in progress. So any interested buyers?
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Message Ben, he can ring me.
Yep, sure. just message us on the show and we'll put you in touch with Doug. If you're keen to get into it, just look, you'll never find another one. Where on earth are you going to find something else like this?
And you can read the full story in Cruisin magazine, issue 263.
263 Cruisin magazine. There you go. There's a plug for the mag as well.
Yeah.
That's great stuff, mate. Well, we might have a bit of a look around it.
Yeah, for sure.
Fantastic.
Go for it. Good to catch up with you, mate.
Good to see you too.
Thanks, Ben.
Take care, mate. Ladies and gents, when you get to car shows like this, as I said, you find some extraordinary people. And I couldn't believe it, but we've stumbled across not only the Mayor of Moreton City Council, Mr. Peter Flannery.
Hey, good morning.
Thank you so much for coming along.
Fantastic.
Peter, from a council point of view, what's this mean to the city of Moreton?
Well, this is one of our signature events in Caboolture. We've got many different events throughout the year. We know events are very special to people, and particularly free events. So we put on about 40 free events every year for families to come out and enjoy the coming together for communities. But particularly this one, Cruisin Caboolture, it's focused on the car enthusiasts. I'm a little bit passionate though. I used to be a mechanic by trade.
Is that right?
From old days, so
I didn't know that.
did like the old cars here and there. Don't like working on them too much now, but it's always a passion I have for vehicles. But bringing vehicles together with also entertainment, music, relaxed atmosphere, so you can come and mums and dads can have a look at some vehicles. We see a lot of men here. Like to see some more women involved as well and bring down and show their cars off or see what they're interested in as well. We love that broad spectrum. But also come have some music, a couple of drinks, a bit of food. There's plenty of food vans here. So just a relaxed Sunday, come down and enjoy a beautiful community come together. And also some great investments here that people have put a lot of time and passion and energy into. But it's a sense of community. We saw that during COVID, people weren't getting out and about. And people really missed that for their mental health, their well-being and sense of community. So events are very important for us, very focused for us in MBRIT, our partnership. And events like this tick all the boxes for us.
Yeah, it's great stuff. Look, there's a huge difference between events that are cobbled together by well-meaning enthusiasts and those that are really professionally done and are sponsored by major entities such as the local council. I think that's such an important thing for something of this size, mate. So well done on doing that. Well, once again, thanks for everything you've done in terms of the council pushing this along. I know the organisers that I spoke to before, we're really, really pleased to be working with such a cohesive council who said, look, we want to see this really move. So well done, mate. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you for talking to us today.
My pleasure.
So one of the things you'll find at these shows, folks, is not only will you get the older the vehicles, but people take just as much pride in sometimes restoring, but more often not customising the newer machines as well. And I'm here talking to Graham and Denise. They've got this most extraordinary Commodore behind us, which we're going to have a look at very shortly. But I really had to come along and have a chat with them because this thing is amazing. So, folks, what was the inspiration behind this one?
Well, originally I actually had a VE Commodore and everything like that, and it was supposed to be used for our wedding car originally, because my wife also has a VA Commodore, and we had a black one and a blue one and a green one.
I knew we had you here for a reason.
But one morning on the way to work, I decided to put it up the back end of a four-wheel drive.
All right.
So the car had actually disappeared for about 6 months. And I thought, well, I'm not going to get this car back or anything like that. So we started actually looking around for another car. We found this at a car yard. Well, my wife found it in a car yard here in Caboolture.
And what caught your eye, Denise, when you found the car?
It was just stunning, and I just looked at the specs, and it was a manual, which was a big
that's
tick.
cool.
Low mileage.
Every other car is always auto, and I knew that my husband wanted a manual.
Sure.
So it just took my eye.
Mate,
And it was beautiful.
It's a gorgeous car.
Yes.
So how long have you had it now?
I've had it for about 8 or 9 years.
Okay.
But it's been off the road probably 5 of those 9 years, yeah.
And is that while you were working?
Total
on the-
rebuild,
Okay,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
From ground up rebuild. Wow.
Basically ground up rebuild, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, the motor started off with buying a set of rocker covers next to it. The motor was out and there was cam kits. And all
Okay,
sorts.
so while we're out, we may as well
Yeah.
May as well do the whole
pour
lot.
another
Yeah.
whole heap of money into it.
Just snowballed from there, yeah.
Wow, mate. And you were telling me before about the upholstery inside.
Yes.
That's a work of art in itself.
It's done by a crowd in Brendale. Absolutely fantastic guys and everything like that. It took about 6 months for them to do, but they've done an amazing job.
And what's their name?
Oh, Proceeds.
Proceeds. There we go.
in Brendale.
All right,
Sorry,
right.
yeah, Proceeds.
Well, we're
in
happy
Brendale.
to plug anyone who does a great job for anything.
They do fantastic job.
Oh,
yeah,
good
they
stuff.
take your original Commodore seats and actually build them into Coulson.
Wow.
Coulson seats for
There
Commodore
you go.
seats. Yeah.
That doesn't happen often.
The car was beautiful when we bought it, but it was stock standard, and he's just done a fantastic job. Put in so many hours of hard work, just making it the way it is.
And
All
I've
that
got
panel beating.
I've got to let a lot of young fellas know out there. This is all done in a 6x6 shed
So that,
at home. So none of it's been done outsourced or anything like that.
so listen, are you a mechanic by trade?
I'm a panel beater and painter by trade.
Okay, so you're in the car thing, but wow. Look, if you're sitting at home and you've got that car in the shed and you're thinking, it's just too hard, I don't have the facilities for it. Not true.
No.
Get out there and make it happen. And there's an example of people who work together to make it happen. It's just a wonderful thing. Great stuff.
And I can say I couldn't have done it without my wife's support either. So yeah, it's been great.
I said it before and I'll say it again. We need the husbands, wives come together, bring the kids in on it, bring the grandkids on it.
That's
It's
it.
all part of the community. It's
Yep.
wonderful. Great stuff. Look, thank you so much
No,
for
thank
showing.
you very much.
And we're going to have a look around the car. And thanks for coming along today.
No, thank you guys.
Folks, as you come to shows like this, obviously you'll see some extraordinary cars. You'll meet some really wonderful people in terms of those people who've built the cars from ground up, or they've just gone out and bought something that somebody else produced and put all of their hard time and effort and money into. And you'll meet the most amazing people who are out there promoting the car culture and bringing families together. And I've met 3 lovely ladies. We're going to have a chat with them. Look, it's about promoting the culture, adding some glamour to the culture, but also getting out there and talking to people and finding out what makes people tick. So I'm going to introduce you because I'm lousy at names to
Hi, I'm Betty Butcher.
Betty Butcher,
I'm Hilly Monroe.
Hilly Monroe,
Lena Lamar.
Lynn and Lamar. Wonderful names. Tell me about how this started, mate. Tell me about what you did.
Okay, so we form Pinups Australia. So it's not just the 3 of us. It is very much a big community. So it's a group of people who are interested in the nostalgia of the 50s, of the 60s, even of the 70s. You know, we love dressing up and having fun at events. But the main thing that it's about is bringing people together who have the same interests. And, you know, as we get older, it gets harder to make friends. And
Sure.
the fun of dressing up and the fun of community, we're very much about that, about building up confidence. So what we do is we do things like we run pin-up pageants, we run, you know, photo shoots, casual pin-up events. It's very much just about creating opportunities and reasons for people to dress up and have fun.
So this is not just about cars. This is about getting people feeling good about themselves.
Oh, so
Absolutely.
true. Yeah. And I think it's really, really important, an important part of it. And, you know, the cars, a lot of us have grown up in the car culture. You know, my father is a panel beater and restores hot rods and Volkswagen Beetles. So I grew up in the culture. It was always a part of my life, getting dragged to swap meets and garage sales. So it's really nice to have that nostalgic passion that is passed down through generations
Sure.
in my family and bring it into something that has a bit of a feminine vibe.
Yep.
But as we say, vintage vibes, not vintage values.
Vibes, that's cool. I love it. Vintage vibes, not vintage values. Wow, wonderful. So what got you both into this? What prompted you to be involved?
Oh, like we're very similar to Betty Butcher. I grew up sort of in the car scene. My granddad is a mechanic,
Yep.
was a mechanic, and so is my dad. My dad actually does speedway.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Races?
yeah. Yeah. So
Brave
he's
man. Brave man.
He used to have a Tirana in the 80s, and then he's only just gotten back into it within the last few years. So,
Fantastic.
yeah.
And what does he think of providing glamour to car shows?
Yeah, he's actually offered. He's like, oh, do you want to take a photo with the Commodore?
Wow. Keeping it in the family. How wonderful. So tell me about your involvement.
I really love the fashion. I think it's a great opportunity for us. I've got a huge wardrobe and I justify it by dressing up any chance that I get. So it's great. I get to come out and see great friends like this and meet people like you. And obviously the cars are fabulous as well. You can admire all of them and wish that you had one yourself.
For sure.
And just wander around and have a look. So it's great. Great opportunity to meet people.
How wonderful. Great stuff. So tell me about your organisation, your business itself. If people want to get involved, how do they go about doing that?
Yeah, so we are on all of the social media. So it's all just under Pinups of Australia. If they want to get involved, we have some great groups where we share events where people can dress up and come and be a part of it. Also, we run workshops and events throughout the year. So
In and around Brisbane? Or?
mainly we're based in Brisbane. We do some pageants and events interstate, and we are involved in some on this beautiful Sunshine Coast and, of course, down in Coolangatta. So mainly just come along. If you see us, come up and say hello. You know, we're really friendly. We want more people to be welcomed and to really feel a part of the community. And if there's anything that we can do for you or for anyone interested in Pinup to shine brighter, just let us know. That's what we are passionate about, and that is what we want. We want you to be a part of this.
I think the concept is as stunning as the three of you. Thank you so much for talking to us today. And look, it's just wonderful. Well done.
Day.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
All right, folks, look, sometimes you just come across things which are just really quite extraordinary. When I saw this car roll in, I thought, I've never seen one of them before in my life, and I thought I knew a little bit about cars, but I don't know anywhere near what this guy knows. This is Ross, and this is a LaFrancis. Ross, tell us about this extraordinary motor car.
Yeah, sure. So what you have here, it's a Lee Francis 2.5 litre Sport 1950 model. So the Lee Francis mark is British.
Is that right? I thought it might have been French with a name like that.
No, they're British. Coventry. They were particularly into war, 20s and 30s. They were a pretty well-known mark. They had some success in the racing world and was doing okay. And then they tried to kick off again after the war and never really got going.
Yep.
And this is actually about the last of them.
Wow.
So Lee Francis wrapped up in the early 50s, and this was
So, as I said, I've never seen one before. So how many of these things are out there, mate?
Yeah. So the 2.5 litre Sport, there was 77 of these made.
Okay.
It's believed there's still 40 in existence throughout on the planet. And in Australia, we're actually doing pretty well. So I brought 12 out to Australia back in those days. And I think there's still about 7 or 8 in Australia today.
And how did you come across this one?
Well, this one's got a bit of a story to it. So it was all down to the old man, Max Gregory. Max,
This is your dad?
the dad's car. So he, as a young fella pumping petrol back in the day, he was in a country town in Victoria. He'd see one of these drive through and goes, got to get me one of those. And 1956.
So everyone else is after a Holden or a Ford, and he sees a LaFrancis and says, I want one of them. That's a special guy.
He, always went the road less travelled, let's say. Did Dad? Yeah. So, so in 1956 he bought the car. It wasn't much good as a family car, and he found out it wasn't much good around the farm either.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I
Bit
don't
low
know,
slung.
a little bit high geared, and not real good around the farm.
Right, it's a good highway car, not so good low
But
car.
he did put a tow bar on it. They used to tow calves to market. So there you go. So he parked it up in 1970. It went into a shed on the farm. So I remember playing cops and robbers in this car as a young kid, collecting eggs out of there when the chooks used to lay some eggs in there.
So it's been a high hauler, it's been a chook pen.
Yeah, it's been a getaway car. Yeah. So in about 2001, he'd always said, I'm going to restore this thing one day. And about 2001, he finally got into it and made a start. And would I say it was a slow process?
Okay.
Slow process.
Yep.
For example, so body come off, so body's hanging out of the rafters of a shed, the chassis sitting there. Sent the engine into a local engine rebuilder. 6 years later, before he got the engine back, so just stuff like that. He just didn't follow up and chase, and it just dragged out. So, so the unfortunate thing was trying to push by 2016. That would have been 60 years ownership of the car. We're trying to, because by then a big chunk of restoration had taken place, but there's still a lot to go.
Sure.
And we're just trying to push it across the line to get it done by 2016. So 60 years ownership. We sort of had it done, but by then the old man's health was failing, and we got him into the car and we took him for a spin up and down the driveway in it. So that was better than nothing. But yeah, so that was about as far as I got. Then he died in 2020. So got the car up here in Brisbane, and a couple of years I'm only slow. I don't know what I'm doing, so I was only slow, but yeah, tried to finish it, whatever finish means with an old car.
Can I ask, Ross, what's your work background, mate? Are you involved in cars, mechanicking,
No,
or panel beating? Or?
I'm no mechanic or no background, just having a crack.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so number one, it's a very rare car. I can't imagine parts would be easy to come by.
Yeah. In some instances, they're not. In others, things like rebuilt the carbies, so it's just SU carbies. You can buy them off the shelf
Sure.
now.
Okay.
So things like that, SU fuel pumps, replaced all those. So some stuff you can still get. However, some other components, a cracking example, this thermostat housing. Started because I knew getting it up here into southeast Queensland, a lot hotter than Victoria,
Sure.
way hotter than England.
Yeah.
They also had a bit of an issue with overheating. So, okay, cooling system's going to have to be
Top notch.
going to have to be right.
Yeah.
Pull the thermostat housing off, just about fell apart in my hands. It was gummed up with a bit of PVC pipe and gunk and rubbish. So a bloke I work with, he's a bit of a mechanical genius, and we recast one in aluminium and machined it, recast it, machined it. Likewise with the impeller for the water pump, recast it in bronze.
Extraordinary.
Yeah, so that was...
That's a handy guy to know.
Thanks, John. Yeah,
Thanks. Yeah. Well done, John.
Yeah,
Good job.
I would have been a lot of trouble without him, I think. Yeah, so things like, thermo fans and got a engine oil cooler on it now, and just a few things to try and
help it along.
Help it
make
along.
reliable.
Yeah. Exactly right.
And the bodywork, mate. This is. I mean, I look at that and I think that's not far off a Concours car. Was that your doing?
No, negative. So that was done at the time. Dad was in control of the restoration. Okay. So there's I can't think of their name, but there's a crew down in Melbourne.
Yep.
It's an aluminium body, so it's pretty specialist sort of task. And they organised the body work, because one of the things that they got caught out with, or Dad got caught out with, was it's been sitting in a shed for 30 years. It should be pretty sweet. They pulled it apart. All the metal components were like fly wire once they blasted it. And a lot of it had to be rebuilt.
Yeah, sure.
So obviously aluminium was okay, but the steel components were...
Is it steel chassis or timber?
Yeah, steel.
Okay.
It's got timber frame doors.
Right.
That's the only timbers left in the...
Wow.
So a little bit of ancestry.
Carpenter as well.
A little bit of ancestry there. Yeah. So, so the bodywork was done. The paint was done. The interior was done. All down in Melbourne.
Yep.
Yeah. So when it came up here, it was looking really sharp.
Well, it's an incredible legacy to your dad for a start.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
What a fun thing to have.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like you just drive around and go, I reckon the old man
Dad would love this.
I reckon he'd be pretty cool.
Dad would love this. Yeah,
that's right.
And the fact that it's still in the family. So you're the custodian of the car now. Is there another generation coming through? Yeah,
so I've got two young blokes. The older bloke, he's a little bit of an interest in it. The second bloke, not so much.
Okay.
So we'll just see how that plays out.
Sure.
Yeah. Just see.
Well, mate, look, the fact that, number one, you drove it here, brilliant. Not a trailer queen. Love it. Nothing wrong with trailer queens, but we love seeing cars being driven. So number one, you drove it here. Number here, you brought it here at all. That's brilliant too. And the fact you spent some time with us talking about this extraordinary machine, mate. Thank you so much.
No, you're
well done. I love it. And what an amazing legacy to your dad.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful.
No,
well
cheers.
done, mate. Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Cheers. Thank you.
So, folks, when you come to a show like this, look, obviously you'll see some amazing cars, get out there and talk to some wonderful people, but you're going to need a feed as well. And one of the most incredible stories I've ever heard about a food truck being put together is Wayne's story. So, look, I'm going to introduce you to the Cruisin Pig. What a great name for a car show to begin with.
Yep.
And you'll notice there's some Mazdas, in particular some Rotaries there, and there's a story to that as well. So, Wayne, tell me about the Cruisin Pig, mate. How did this become?
Well, I started, a couple of years ago, I started a rotary page called SEQ Rotors. I wanted the rotary community in southeast Queensland to grow. I see what they do down in Sydney, so I created a company called SEQ Rotors. That's a page called SEQ Rotors. We had our first show at Nudgee Beach, and we just used the hot plates, and we sold out Still and Bacon Egg Burger. We filled the whole car park, and the next thing you know, I went and bought a food trailer and specialised for the car scene. We do everything, but car shows are our pick. We got Chris Cross. He designed our logo. I called ourselves the Cruisin Pig because we found some amazing bacon that come from Tasmania.
Really?
So we're a bacon truck. They do dry cured bacon. We sell bacon on a stick, bacon and halloumi on a stick, and also bacon on a stick with maple. So it's quite good, especially that. It's a 10 millimeter cut of bacon.
That's beautiful.
So we also do pulled pork. My wife, she smokes all the meat, all the pulled pork. So that's behind the name. And yeah, now.
This is good. This is really good.
Box bacon from Tasmania we do. And here we are today. As I said, we do everything, but car shows are our thing. So,
I love it. You said before, you went to Nudgy Beach, let's say the hot plate.
Yeah.
What inspired that?
no, we just use the hot plates at the barbecue.
I mean, have you the history with hospitality?
No. Like, just got a brioche bun, made them at home. My wife's quite happy with my bacon and egg burgers. Thought we could do this. This is really good bacon. So, yeah, excited to get a food trailer. She does the smoking. Yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah. So the car guy becomes the food guy with no experience at all and just gets out there and makes it happen.
Yeah.
And look, that's really what these shows were all about. As we said, so many of these cars have just been built by people who literally built it from their garage floor up, and you've built the business in the same way, mate.
Yep.
So, I say well done.
We could do 2 and 2 together. The wife loves the cooking, and I love the cars, and we can combine.
What a combo.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. Just delicious. Well, thank you so much.
No worries.
Thanks for coming along.
Thanks for the chat.
Love it.
Yep.
Cruisin Pig. Good tucker. All right. So folks, a little bit of an Aussie bit here at the Caboolture Cruising Car Show. I found an LC Tirana. LJ, sorry, get it right, man. LJ Tirana. And HQ. Wow, with a different front end on it. Love it. And I'm talking to
John
and Trish. Yeah. So John is the owner of the
both.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay, Trish, well done. So tell me about these amazing cars, Trish. How long have you been involved in building cars?
I mean, really, it is had an interest for many years, but just last probably 3 years, it just really sparked off.
Right. So when you say many years, was that back to a childhood thing?
Yeah,
or?
but I never had any as a childhood. No childhood memories apart from my uncle was really old school. They're just talking points. They're just, great atmosphere. And we met a lot of really good people.
Yeah, that's very true. The car community is a wonderful place to be.
It is.
And how do you fit into this, mate? Where's your passion like?
I've grown up around cars, drag racing, cars and stuff. Yeah, it's always been in my blood. Yeah, right. And we met.
Yeah. He's got the cream of the crop in the shed. He's got that LJ GTR. So he's sitting in the shed.
Yeah, okay.
So it'll make the road one day.
Amazing. Yeah. So by the look of this one, this is not. It's no stranger to a dragster. Would that be right?
I haven't been there yet. Mm-hmm. Been to Lakeside and that, but we're just sorting some teething issues out. Yeah.
And what sort of condition were these in when you got them?
Like this.
You bought them the way they are?
The way they are.
So did you find out much about the history of the cars before?
This one was originally sold in Caboolture, brand new. And then it finished off as white, originally white. And it's finished off all the way over the years. I'm not sure about the previous owners before. The guy I brought it off was Chris Gay, who actually brought it from up here. Yep. And then he's fully restored it over 7 years. It took him. Yeah. So I only just put it together when I kind of put the word out what I'm looking for, and then he's contacted me.
So you went looking for a specific car, and you found.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Well done.
Yeah.
A dream car.
That's incredible. And tell me about the Ute. What's the history of that?
So
that's a mate of mine, old Ute. Yeah. So basically, he knew he was looking for another car.
I had a 1-ton at the time.
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of upgrade again. So, and it wasn't originally my cup of tea. I'm like, nah, don't like purple, don't like the black labs, don't like the darkest on the back. And then when I seen it, I'm like, it's just different. It's just different. It's eye-catching. The kids love it. The adults love it.
Where are you going to find another one?
Exactly. Yeah, it's unique. Yeah. And it's fun. It's fun to ride.
Good fun. So, are you sort of regulars at car shows? Is that
we're in a car park.
Yeah. Which club are you with?
Shrewsbury.
Shrewsbury. Okay, where's that?
Linda. Yeah.
How many members with Shrewsbury?
Nearly 900, I think.
Wow.
800 something members, I believe.
That's a big club.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Family orientated as well, so which is good.
Get the kids, the grandparents involved.
Yeah. We do a lot with the club. It's good.
Really good. Genuine.
Family that rides together survives together. Good on. Well, listen, thank you so much for bringing these down here today. They're just, the colour really pops in amongst all of the others.
Exactly.
And for the Aussie motoring fans out there, I'm sure that the people will just love it. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Yeah.
So, ladies and gents, this is why you come to car shows like this, because you will see the most extraordinary things out there. And even if you don't have a car yourself, then the people you meet and the cars that you see may well inspire you to get involved in it. So a good example of that is I'm talking here with Darren with his beautiful, an E8, is that right?
Yeah, it is.
1964, of course, FOR.
FOR.
How long have you had this one, Darren?
This one I've had 10 years. But yeah, I've had 25 since I was 14. Like
all Holdens?
Yeah, all same model.
Wow.
Utes and vans and station wagons
and was the Holden badge in your family? Has that been there for a while?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me about that, mate.
Yes.
What inspired that?
Oh, grandfather's FJ. I learned to drive in it, but I could only drive backwards because my job was to reverse it out of the shed.
Okay.
So that's as far as I knew. So I'd be the kid that's going backwards around the paddock.
Right.
Yeah.
And how old were you?
Oh, about 9.
Okay. So you'd be really good at doing reverse power slides now.
Yes, absolutely. Although,
wow.
But yeah, they, just a few little bits. We got sterling silver on the ram tubes. Come from the Gympie dump shop for $1. So
wow,
that's what we do.
So you flared the tubes?
No, I cut them off.
Okay.
I cut them off because the stem of the glass is stuck onto that.
Right.
And
and the plugs are there to keep the dust out while it's sitting.
Small children and rocks.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah. That makes sense.
But no, it's a good thing. Helltown Hot Rods in Gympie done panel and paint for me.
Okay.
About 5 or 6 years ago. But so I'm pretty happy with the old girl. It's a good thing.
And who did the upholstery, mate? Because that's real old school velour.
The upholstery was done by Charles Caddy in Victoria.
Okay.
This was on the show scene in Victoria from 78 to 87.
So it's got a real history.
43 trophies in its day.
Wow.
And I've just clicked over 22 in the few years we've had it out on the show scene.
That's amazing. And what's the significance of the turtle, mate? I saw there's a green turtle on the back seat there.
I figured it's green.
Yep.
I figured it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got a textured roof now.
Okay.
So it's pretty much, plus that Touche turtle was born when I was born.
I remember Touche away. There you go. Gen X's, remember that?
So I had, if you have a look on the back, Rick Pacey do the glove box mural.
Yeah.
And the tailgate mural as well.
How wonderful. So, how many cars have you got now? You said you've done 20 odd of these.
No,
I've
got this and a black PT Cruiser is all I've got now.
Right.
We've got a little mascot that partner Kerry made up, and that's for the kids.
Okay.
And the little 2 and 3 year old toddlers that wander around love it.
Right.
Is
this Kerry?
This is Kerry.
Kerry, can you come into the fold? Look, it's a really special thing. My wife indulges me in all my passions as well with cars. And I think, folks, if you've got a partner who is happy to indulge you and get involved, then that's a really special thing as well too. So welcome to the channel, Kerry. So what your hand in this?
Oh, bits and pieces, nothing major apart from helping with the carpet being put in and windows put in and cleaning the windows, and then checking for perfections and imperfections when it's showtime.
Okay.
So,
There's always something, isn't it? Always something.
Always something to happen.
Yeah.
It's extraordinary. It's just a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's a good old thing. Yeah.
We enjoy it.
Fantastic. Well, look, we might have a bit of a look around if that's okay. And it's been wonderful talking to you today.
Thank
guys.
you.
It's really great. Really enjoyed it. Thank you, Kerry. Wonderful. Look, I tell you what, if you've ever had anything to do with an organisation, a sporting club, a netting club, doesn't matter what it is, if you've tried to organise something to get a whole heap of people together in one place that have all got a common interest, it's hard work. So I thought we needed to introduce you to Rowan. Rowan's from CardiGras, and Rowan, amongst a couple of other people, is largely responsible for this event happening today. Rowan, we're standing in front of a beautiful supercar, and I think you've done a super job at putting all this together, mate. Tell me about how all this came about.
Well, Deanna from MBRIT, she started it last year, and I've had a involvement with, CardiGras been around since 2018, and my idea was to just organise car shows for charities and organisations that don't get a cent from the government.
Right.
So, all the children's charities, the hospitals and that sort of thing, that, and what better way, put on a car show, get 100, like we've done here today, get 100 cars along. Most of my events, I actually charge the public to come and have a look.
Yep.
And don't charge the owners of the cars.
Sure.
My attitude being, without the cars, I haven't got a car show.
Of course.
So, so that's what I do. But this is another way of doing it. Get the council pays for the whole lot, and so we don't have to ask the customers to pay.
So there's a plug. Thanks to Moreton City Council for
putting on
this.
Yep, that's right.
Just fantastic. So tell me about CardiGras, mate. What's CardiGras about?
Well, like I said, I started in 2018. When I first started, we were actually known as Hot Rods for the Homeless.
Okay.
And the idea was that we were going to be a not-for-profit organisation, and all profits at the end of the financial year, I would find local organisations that assisted the homeless, and they would get whatever money was in my coffers.
Sure.
And then a friend of mine, Dan Neeby, who's been in the music industry for quite a while, he had Rockin' for the Homeless. So we had to change our name.
Yep.
Well, we had to change our name because most of my music industry friends, including Jimmy Barnes, thought that I was associated with Rockin' for the Homeless. So they were offering their services to me at mates rates, rather than offering them to Dan. So a friend of mine in Sydney, who's a Christian, said, mate, I've been to your events. It's just like Mardi Gras with cars. So hence, that's how the name came about.
This is about community. It's about the car community. It's about mums, dads, granddads, grandmas. It doesn't matter who you are, how much money you've got, how much money you don't have. Bring your car along.
Yep.
If you've got something that you're proud of, we want to share it with everyone. That's brilliant, right?
And just to get into plug for CardiGras, we do at least one event a week somewhere in the Moreton Bay region. Quite a few of the coffee club, the cafes. We've just started at one of the local boutique breweries down at Burpengary.
Wow.
They've got 25 car spaces in their car park, so we rock up there on a Thursday night. And people can find all the events around on the CardiGras Facebook page.
So go to the Facebook page, CardiGras.
Yep. And get one in now. If you haven't got any plans for Easter Saturday next year, come down to Tambourine Mountain. We're going to be having Rowan's Rockabilly Roundup. I'm hoping to get the Zephyr Project as the band. We're in discussions. We've just got to cross the T's and dot the I's, that sort of thing. But if they do play, then anyone who turns up driving a Zephyr will get free entry.
Love it. Well, mate, look, congratulations on what you managed to put on here today. I think it's an extraordinary event. And I tell you what, judging by the crowds here, I reckon there's several thousand people who also think this is an extraordinary event. So, folks, as you come across shows like this, you will find that there will be, we call them trade displays. So these are people who set up tents which advertise their business, but they're there to help you to make your project come to life. And one of the people is shown. He's from Caboolture Steering Specialists, Caboolture Steering Specialists, and he's one of the major sponsors here at the Caboolture show. So we thought we'd have a bit of a chat with you. Mate, tell me about how you got involved in this.
It was a couple of years ago. I seen it advertised on the highway and thought I'll get involved. It's a free event. So, you get all walks of life coming in. There's lots of stuff for the kids, but also the adults as well. There's a bar and lots of cars and stuff to check out.
Sure.
And then we also have a lot of customers that have cars here as well. So,
right. Great. So how long have you been Caboolture steering specialist?
Caboolture steering specialist has been going for about 30 years. My partner and I took over the business about 18 months ago.
Okay.
We have 2 mechanics on board. One's been there 20 years and one 15 years. So
wow.
Got a lot of experience.
That's good going.
They don't like to admit it, but they're very good on old cars. But they're also very good on new cars as well. So we specialise in stuff that other workshops normally don't do, in like bushes and suspension and finding problems like patrol wobbles and stuff like that.
And is that because the other shops find it just a bit too out of left field for them? Just too out of the box?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Right. And we also have a pit there as well. So a lot of workshops don't have pits anymore.
Okay.
So we can put the car up and simulate it being on the road
right.
and find different issues with it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we specialise in wheel alignments, which is a big part of our business. So,
right.
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff.
So when you've been to the rest, then you come to the best.
Okay. Fair call, mate.
Yeah.
Fair call. Well, mate, I'm going to be talking to you about a certain Buick that I know quite well. So come and
No worries,
see
yeah,
you.
bring it down.
Mate, thank you so much
No worries
for
at all.
talking to us tonight. It's been
Thank
great.
you. Thanks for your
Good
time.
on you.
Thanks.
Folks, when you come to a car show, if it's a car show, you'll get to see lots of cars. But occasionally you'll come across something where we just mix and match it a little bit and match it up. And today we found 2 extraordinary guys with their equally extraordinary machines. I'd like to introduce you to Sean and to Adam. And they're 2 Harley Davidsons here. Guys, tell me about this passion of yours for two wheels. Sean, what is it about the bike that gets under your skin, mate?
I think it's full control. You're the young one in charge when you ride a bike. Freedom. That's a big thing. Is the freedom. The bikes give you that freedom.
Thank you.
Yep.
And it comes from a young age.
So when you say young, how long have you been on 2 wheels now?
I've been on 2 wheels since I was about 12.
Right. So it would have been a mini.
Been the same.
About the same, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So that would have been what, a mini bike or a little
Yeah,
T50 or something?
little YZ80, mate. Yeah, I started off on a crazy machine, yeah.
Little chook chaser.
Yeah.
And when did you get your first Harley?
Oh, that's my first half. That is my first half. I went straight to the top of the food chain.
Oh,
yeah,
mate.
yeah.
To an ultra guy. Holy moly.
Yeah. I've
From
got
a Pee-wee 50 to an ultra guy. That's amazing.
Mate, there's been a lot of bikes in between.
Yeah, sure.
The stable's got a few in it at the moment as well. I think I've got 7 bikes in the shed at the moment. Yeah.
Fantastic. And Adam, tell me about this one, mate. This has got an amazing paint job on it. What's the story with
it's
the
all
paint?
airbrush. A mate done it for me.
Yep.
It was a stock bike when I first got it, and between a few mates and everything like that, we built it into
What year?
2011. Right. But I like old school, so when I first got it, it was like, but I like old job, old.
So have you had a series of bikes before?
I've had a fair few, 1 dirt bikes, never any dirt bikes, 2 Harleys.
Guys, well done on bringing them along today. It's a beautiful day for a ride, for a start.
Well, it's raining this morning.
It was
That's why
raining.
it's so dirty. But we went up the coast and wrecked here this morning.
Yeah, good day. Good day. Well, look, enjoy the rest of the day. I hope it's a safe one for you. Thanks for bringing these down, and mate, we look forward to seeing you at the bike show.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Jay's
man.
in about 2 weeks.
So if you've got a car, if your friend, family member, whoever it is, has got a car that you'd love to see featured on the show, then right down the bottom of the screen here is where you're going to find a link to it.